In Umwaka village, a strange pattern haunted one family. Friendships crumbled, dreams turned to dust, and no one could explain why.
There lived a family whose wealth was the envy of all. Their lands stretched beyond the horizon. Their harvests filled countless barns. Their name commanded respect in every village and marketplace. Yet behind their prosperity hid a terrifying secret. A secret whispered only when darkness fell. For more than 200 years, every firstborn son of the royal bloodline lost everything before reaching the age of 30. Some lost their fortunes, some lost their families. Some vanished without a trace, and none ever escaped their fate. The villagers called it the cursed inheritance. As dawn broke over the village one fateful morning, elders gathered beneath the ancient baobab tree. Their faces were heavy with worry. Their voices barely rose above whispers, for another firstborn son was approaching his 30th year. His name was Chinidu's ancient ancestors, bound by invisible chains. Their eyes glowed with sorrow and anger. Their voices echoed through endless darkness. Break the chain, uncover the truth before it is too late. Each morning he awoke, drenched in sweat, and with every dream, the fear in his heart grew stronger. Unable to ignore the warnings, Chinidu sought answers. His search led him deep into the forest where few dared to venture. Standing before a forgotten shrine was an ancient priestess. Her white robes danced in the wind. Her eyes seemed older than time itself. As she gazed upon him, silence filled the air. Then she spoke. "Your blood carries a burden created long before your birth. The fate that destroyed your fathers now waits for you." Chinidu's heart pounded. "What must I do?" he asked. The priestess pointed toward the deepest part of the forest. "The truth lies hidden, where your ancestors buried their sins. If you wish to survive, you must uncover what was never meant to be found." Guided by her words, Chinidu journeyed deeper into the rainforest. Days passed, swallowed by giant roots and forgotten by time. Ancient carvings covered its walls. Strange symbols seemed to watch his every movement. Scattered around the shrine were offerings left by generations long gone. The deeper he searched, the more questions emerged. What had his family been hiding? And why had so many died protecting the secret? Beneath the royal palace, hidden below layers of stone and history, Chinidu discovered an underground chamber. Dust covered ancient relics. Scrolls lay untouched for centuries. Torchlight flickered across walls, engraved with forgotten stories. There, buried among the records of his ancestors, Chinidu uncovered the truth. Generations ago, a powerful chief named Okangwa sought wealth beyond imagination. Consumed by greed and ambition, he entered a forbidden pact beneath the moonlit sky. Before a sacred altar, he swore an oath in exchange for power, prosperity, and dominion over neighboring lands. A terrible price would be paid, not by him, but by every firstborn son who carried his blood. As Chinidu read the ancient account, horror filled his heart. The curse had never been an accident. It had been chosen. The moment he learned the truth, the village itself began to change. Dark clouds gathered overhead. Thunder shook the earth. Violent winds swept across the ancestral lands. Trees bent beneath the storm's fury. Animals fled into hiding, and fear spread through the village like wildfire. The elders knew what it meant. The curse had awakened. As news spread, members of Chinidu's own family turned against him. Some blamed him for disturbing ancient secrets. Others feared the consequences of uncovering the past. Voices rose in anger. Accusations filled the royal courtyard. Those he trusted most demanded that he abandon his search. But Chinidu refused. If the curse was to end, the truth had to be faced. Alone, he ventured into the forest of spirits. Moonlight filtered through towering trees. Strange whispers drifted through the fog. The deeper he walked, the more the boundary between past and present seemed to disappear. There, among the shadows, he encountered the spirits of those who came before him, the firstborn sons who had lost everything, the forgotten heirs whose lives had been sacrificed to the ancient oath. They revealed the final piece of the mystery. The curse could only be broken by confronting the sin that created it. And so the final ritual began. Villagers gathered around a sacred fire. Drums echoed through the night. Ancient songs filled the air. The priestesses chanted as Chinidu stood at the center of the shrine. The fate of generations rested upon his shoulders. The earth trembled, the wind roared, and then came the revelation. Among the ancient scrolls lay a hidden truth. The wealth that had sustained the family for centuries had been built upon betrayal. The ancestral chief had stolen land from neighboring clans, destroyed innocent families, and sacrificed honor for power. The curse was not merely punishment, it was a debt. A debt carried through generations. Tears filled Chinidu's eyes. For the first time, he understood the burden his family had carried. As dawn approached, Chinidu made his choice. Standing before the rising sun, he renounced the wealth gained through betrayal. He returned stolen lands, restored what had been taken, and asked forgiveness for sins committed long before his birth. The sky grew quiet. The storm disappeared. Golden sunlight broke through the clouds. For the first time in centuries, peace settled upon the kingdom. The curse was broken. Slowly, it began to glow once more, and in that moment, the truth became clear. Some curses do not die, they only sleep, waiting for the next generation to awaken them. And somewhere in the shadows, the story was only just beginning.